our directors of ceremony, the deputy minister should have been with us, but there are too many functions that are taking place on a Monday morning, and she's in Masvingo with the First Lady's program. Our permanent secretary, heads of institutions, parastatals, our distinguished diplomats, whether from UNIDO and others who are here, the people who have come here today is amazing for me. You know, when you think of energy and especially electricity, I was always told the Africans fear electricity. And one time when we had a workshop in South Africa, and we were talking about those who are vandalizing and stealing. One South African says, no, it cannot be done by our ordinary people. They fear electricity. And I defended to say it cannot be done by ZESA or those who understand it. It must be done by those people who have had some smattering of understanding about electricity and they know where to switch off. So, but just looking at all the faces in this room, the lightest one is our brother, but he's still our African brother. The rest look a little bit lighter than me, but still we look the same. And I'm very happy about this situation. So I want to welcome everybody to this. You have already been welcomed. I'm really delighted and honored for us to have this discussion and launch what we believe will be exciting SADC Energy Week next year. It is going to be exciting because of two things. The majestic Victoria Falls is setting, and anybody who will tell that they are going to come to Victoria Falls gets excited. And so we want to excite you, Zimbabweans, SADC nationals, to come to Zimbabwe, to come to Victoria Falls so that we can, together looking at that sustainable energy that is at the Victoria Falls, chart our way forward. I want to start by also thanking SACRI and SADC for deciding to hold this on an annual basis. And this annual basis is based on the fact that SADC, as has been already been said, is the most advanced in power pools. We were in Japan, all the African power pools recently, and we were very happy to be led by our Southern African power pool to demonstrate how far we have gone in terms of our inter-country marketing of energy. But it clearly showed that we can easily connect to East Africa through Zambia and Tanzania, and we can easily connect it to Central Africa through our connection to the DRC. And once we have clearly connected to East Africa, we will have the dream to go to Cape, from Cape to Cairo, because East Africa is already connected to the northern part, and the northern part which connects to Egypt. Egypt is connected to the Zagreb areas. So that line will be connected, and the Zagreb is connected to the Middle East. But the further west, if we are connected to Central Africa, we will connect to West Africa, and West Africa is also connected to North Africa through Mauritania and Morocco. So the African market in energy can be achieved in order to achieve Vision 2063. So I'm delighted that SACRI is championing the renewable energy aspect of it, although all forms of energy are very important for us, especially for us in the southern part of the SADC. SADC is very fortunate that it is engaged in two similar energy-related production systems. The northern part, which is Zambia, DRC, Angola, and Tanzania, have hydroelectricity as a major contributor to our energy mix. The southern part, which is Zimbabwe, Botswana, and parts of, and of course, South Africa, mostly is coal-based. So thermal becomes the driving force. So these two interconnected, interrelated energy systems should give us the security that we need in the Southern African region. So over the years, I've also been able to look at first-hand transformative power of energy. If you look at communities where a single solar panel lights up a classroom, the children get changed, and you can see it. I've met women who, thanks to clean cooking technologies, no longer suffer the health hazards that are connected with firing your cooking through firewood or coal. And these women desire to have a lifestyle that is equivalent to those who already have commercial energy, such as electricity and LPG. I've also spoken to young entrepreneurs. I was at the border with Mozambique, where we were giving solar energy. And I went into a store for a young man. And I said, what has changed? He said, what has changed is that we have become Bindura while we were in the border with Mozambique. We now have enough for people to come and drink cold beer. He started with beer. I didn't choose the words, but he started with he started with beer, and but also went into cold drinks, and we can now preserve our other perishables. So if you go to the schools where the Ministry of Lands has put these school business units with solar and irrigation, drip irrigation, and the children who last year were supporting with maize meal, but no relish, but they can now grow their own cabbages, they can grow their own tomatoes. You see a difference in between those who already have this energy than those who don't have. So small businesses and others in our society value the issue of energy. And what is easily reachable to all parts of Zimbabwe is renewable energy. So when we are holding this renewable energy, we are not just celebrating, we are actually saying, let's see the faces of our people, how this energy becomes a transformative issue for them. Energy is not just about kilowatts. It is therefore about the dignity of an individual. It is something that gives opportunity to businesses. It is something that gives hope to everybody. So when we think about what we are going to do in Victoria Falls and we exhibit, and Sakri is saying, let's come and exhibit. Just think of your company, think of your institution. How can we demonstrate hope? How can we demonstrate that we can give you dignity? And therefore, when Sakri is calling upon you to come and participate, don't look at Sakri. Think of the people in your area that you ought to save. The 2026 SADC Sustainable Week was held, will be held in Victoria Falls, as I have already said. The theme, driving regional economic growth through clean energy and energy efficiency. This is our aim. We have just finished through the ministry and cooperating partners as well as other institutions, assessment of energy efficiency. 20 institutions have been looked at, and you can tell that with energy efficiency, some of what you are doing will be much cheaper. So is no regrets to do energy efficiency. It's for your good, it's for your pocket, is for you to get more money, but it contributes to the economic efficiency as well, because energy happens to influence everything that we do. This year in Botswana, the SADC Sustainable Energy Week saw a landmark moment which saw 800 people participating. And as I have said, given the majestic scene that we are going to do in Victoria Falls, we should definitely surpass Botswana. We are not competing with Botswana because they have their own advantages, but Victoria Falls gives us an opportunity to surpass the 800 people who attended in Botswana. And by the way, it was well arranged. From the intervention of the the president himself, the vice president, who is the minister of finance, and other ministers from Botswana, the colorful minister of minerals and energy, and all others. This was well done, but we think that we can provide that same situation here in Zimbabwe. So similarly, next year in February, and the dates are already announced, we expect the ministers, we expect special institutions, we expect investors, we expect not only those from SADC. When I was in the Africa Energy Week, where our president was billed to be the official opener of that, and he was unable to come, and I had to send his apologies to the organizer, NJ Ayuk. And I told him, our president said, you should come to our Energy Week next year. He said, I'll bring a basket of energy promoters that you have never seen. So we expect that not only Southern Africa, but Africa can also come and participate. But we have to take a lead. Those of us in the SADC region, you have to take a lead. So next year, the participation must become better and better. Botswana was inaugural, Zimbabwe is second, and it will go further and further, but let's also lay the base at a higher level than what we saw in Botswana. The outcomes are outlined by the Executive Director for SACRI of that launch which was done in Botswana, and I will not go through it. The African Union, except to say the African Union came up with the Africa Single Electricity Market, targeted interventions to facilitate a sustainable development of the African electricity sector through an integrated continental electricity market. I have already said this is a vision which I think is moving faster than any other visions. I know that in communications, particularly in our railway systems, in our road networks, in our ICT, we are getting that integration. In our industrial marketing, we are getting that vision. But I think energy as an enabler is already setting the pace, and that augurs very well for our African market in general, but the energy and electricity market in particular. The goal is to give African households, businesses, and industries a more secure, sustainable, reliable, competitive, and affordable energy. That is the aim. And that's why in this room we have our ZERA, Zimbabwe Electricity Regulatory Authority. And SADC, in its wisdom, as Ndukula has said, these ZERAs have become RERA. Because at a regional level, they have become RERA, and at individual level with the acronyms of the countries. And we hope that this integration of regulations of energy efficiency and of how to protect our people for affordability will enable us as Southern Africa to move our economies much faster. And the whole system must respond to the economic demands of our people. And in our case, we must have the demand of Vision 2030, and in our NDS2, those demands are well articulated. We are confident that our people's aspirations and the dream of Africa that is integrated, peaceful, and prosperous is achievable, provided that we construct this future-based plan on actions taken now. The Regional Sustainable Energy Week seeks to focus on attention and our attention and energies in pursuit of the African agenda. Yes, in the Southern African region, which contribute to the world and nation. The SADC Protocol on Energy of 1996 intends to promote the harmonious development of national energy policies, and this we do by holding regular meetings of SADC ministers of energy. And because energy is also regularly related to minerals, some of the ministers are ministers of mines and energy, but also increasingly these are related to your water situation. So you will find when we hold our regular SADC meetings, we have ministers of energy, ministers of water, and ministers of minerals. These are the key drivers, but sustainable energy, because of our energy transition, remains at the background in order to fulfill our transition agenda. Guided by the principles of using energy to support economic growth and development, alleviate poverty, and promoting self-reliance amongst member states, the protocol clearly outlines the institutional mechanism and financial provision in place for implementing the protocols. I want to appeal, as we do these energy issues, we need financial institutions from afar, but we need financial institutions in country. And wherever we are now going for international fora, whether in London or in Washington or in Japan, as we did, or in down under when we were holding Mines and Energy Week in Australia, the thrust now is not just to go and get international financial institutions, bilateral or multilateral, but it also to get domestic financing. And I'm very happy that in Zimbabwe and many Southern African countries, our capital markets are doing very well, and they are already investing in the energy sector. And I was telling one insurance company and one pension scheme that right now your energy investments are having more return than any other, including investing in housing and other commercial buildings. So let's drive the energy sector by investing in it, because it makes money. We are not asking for charity. We are asking you to make money so that we can develop our countries. So, ladies and gentlemen, then our aspirations are further projected under such initiatives as Africa Heads of State Summit, which was held in Dar es Salaam in January 2025. I must say, you know, when I got appointed, I was on leave. And the next thing I was told, go and attend the summit on behalf of the president in Dar es Salaam. And I had no clue what it was all about. And so I had to rely on the secretary and people to give me detailed speech as well as writing briefs. And the African countries actually undertook to say, we must wipe out these 600 million people in Africa who are not connected to any commercial energy. 600 million people. And in Zimbabwe, in the urban areas alone, we have 600,000 where they are living in houses in Harare, in Bulawayo, in everywhere, but they are not connected to our electricity grid. That's why the government of Zimbabwe, the president, has said, let's go beyond the utility, but the utility must become a facilitator. Let's go to the private sector. The private sector can go and invest and become a mini ZESA in Caledonia, in Kimboki, in Mtare, or in Upper Range more in Bulawayo, and you become a partner in the development and of energy to our people. But you must make money. In our conference in Mtare last week, the president said, I want Zimbabweans to make money. And it's you who must make money. And you make money by investing. And the energy sector is one of the areas which is open, which is now deregulated for the private sector to make money. Zimbabwe has also successfully developed our energy compact out of that summit in Dar es Salaam. And it is now on the website of the African Development Bank or the World Bank. It was launched in the forum that took place in Johannesburg only a few weeks ago, and you can look at what we are trying to do, both in generation, in transmission, in distribution, in retail, in sustainable renewables, and also what we are trying to do to attract the private sector by deregulation, by making sure that also the financials, the cost of production of generation, the cost of distribution, the cost of transmission and retail are disaggregated. So whichever side you enter into, you can understand what monies ought to come to you. That's what we have done, and we think it should attract as many people. So when we are going to Victoria Falls, it's more than a destination. It is a symbol of historical significance, yes. It is a symbol of leisure, but it's also a symbol of the dynamism that we want to inject into our economies by having sustainable development through sustainable energy sector. Let me quickly say, while we are pushing for this transition, our base is still our coal, our base is still our gas, our oil, and we are fortunate that in Zimbabwe right now we have both situations where gas has been found and oil has been found, so we cannot neglect those. So Sustainable Energy Week means all, but particularly in order to move into transition our renewables. The agenda has been put to you, and you can participate, how you can participate, and we can only encourage you. So today I call upon our media partners also to amplify this message. The call also goes to our investors and innovators to engage with the Sustainable Energy Week platform, which we have unveiled to you, and invite our community to participate, learn, and shape the future of energy in our region. In light of the government's strong focus on renewable energy, we are also calling on stakeholders across the mining, renewable energy, banking sectors to take advantage of this opportunity to showcase their products and innovations. We invite you to partner with us during the SADC Sustainable Energy Week, proudly hosted by Zimbabwe, as we work together to drive investment and collaboration. And we call upon all SADC member states to participate, and they will be given space in order to showcase what they are doing in their own countries. So this is not only a Zimbabwean hosted matter, but it's a SADC hosted Sustainable Energy Week. And I want to close by thanking all of you for attending. Join us in championing a brighter future at the Sustainable Energy Week in Victoria Falls, where innovation meets commitment. This is a unique opportunity for partners and stakeholders to come together and pledge their support for Sustainable Energy Week. Your financial contributions, as has been asked by the Executive Director, will make it impactful. Your material support will also make it impactful. But your advertising yourself will attract more investors. And as Zimbabwe and all SADC countries, we want you to come out of Victoria Falls saying, I have made a deal. And when our president says Zimbabwe is open for business, I'm sure the whole of SADC is open for business. let's attract those who want to invest and join us in developing Southern Africa. I thank you very much.